about approximately 40,000 or so specialized cells configured in a way that creates a neural network in the heart. It's their brain-like cells, but they're not in the brain, they're in the heart. And it's actually called the little brain in the heart. And these 40,000 specialized cells are called sensory neurites. What they found, what the scientists discovered, is that these cells think independently of the cranial brain. They feel and they remember independently of the cranial brain. Every experience that we have, even this one right now, I'm registering this experience in two places. This is a good experience, so it's not a problem. I'm registering it in my mind, in my cranial mind, as well as in my heart. But if we were having a trauma, it would still be registered in both places. And if I tried to heal that trauma only through thinking about it or talking from my mind, it might feel incomplete. The healing may feel incomplete. And the reason is because I've only addressed what happened in here. I haven't addressed what happened in here. And we know this intuitively. So when we talk about heart intelligence, what we're talking about is the ability for these neurons to communicate with the neurons in a way that is meaningful to those neurons. So earlier in this conversation, we talked about having experiences where we don't know what the answer is. There's nobody to ask. Everyone gives us a different answer. We can't Google an answer. And we don't need that because we always have this right here. These neurons are linked to a wisdom, to an intelligence that is right for us. Mine is right for me, yours is right for you. And any question that you ask this intelligence, it will answer you in a way that will serve you in that moment. It'll never tell you to do anything dangerous or anything that would hurt anyone else. But we all have times in our lives where something happens and we have to make a choice, sometimes really quickly. Sometimes it can be life and death in terms of auto accidents and things like that. I'll give you a perfect example. I was in Australia over 9/11. Couldn't get back into my own country until the flights were flying again. And when they did fly, I was in Sydney, Australia, and there was a Boeing 747, that's a big plane, with fewer than 20 people that were going to come to the US. And there was at the ticket counter, we were at the gate to board, and the agent said, there's so few people, we're not going to board by boarding rows. You can board this plane if you want to and go to America. And I said, well, you don't sound very encouraging. She says, I don't know what happened in that country. She says, but this plane's going to go there if you want to go there. I don't know if it's going to happen again. I don't know if it's over, but if you want to get on the plane, get on the plane. And really didn't instill a lot of confidence in me or the other people that were there. And I said, hold that thought, just wait a minute. And I stepped around the corner, and there's a technique where you can literally, you touch your heart like this. And when you touch your heart, your awareness will always go to the place where you feel the touch. So when you call your attention into your heart center in this way, and you slow your breathing, just a few breaths slower than usual. When you slow your breathing, it tells your body that you are safe. You're in a place that's safe. And when you're safe, and you feel safe, it's a switch. It's like an emotional trigger that frees the rejuvenating and the healing chemistry in the body, because the stress and survival chemistry is not needed if you feel safe. So when you slow your breathing and focus in your heart, that is the doorway, and shamans will do this all the time. Monks, nuns, you see them do this all the time, to that heart intelligence. And I asked my heart, is this a safe flight for me to take? Because my head, if you ask your head, this is so interesting scientifically, because the brain's a polarity organ, left and right brain. And there's always going to be a right and a wrong, good and a bad, success, failure. And if you ask your brain a question under pressure, your brain will go through the logic and the ego loops that will keep you from making the answer. When you ask your heart, the heart's not a polarity organ. So you consciously free yourself from those loops into what is called heart intelligence. And generally your heart will answer. Your heart knows you very well. It's been with you a long time. Your heart will answer before you even finish the question. And my heart told me, and it wasn't woo-woo, airy-fairy stuff. I mean, these are neurons that understand and are cutting through, all the static that would come from this. And I felt like it was a good flight. I took that flight. I got back to LA. I came back to a very different country, and there were only 9 flights to my home in New Mexico through the Albuquerque airport. And I was on one of those 9 flights. And because I trusted my heart, I got home that day. Other people were freaked out. They said, maybe they know something we don't. Maybe they had a briefing and they're not telling us, and they stayed until they felt like it was safe.
All right, my brother. We're a Levitical Health organization, and we bring it to you Levitical Health Science. And it's been a long time coming, but we back now. And today we're going to go over the power and the heart and the science. Power and science of the heart. And my brother Uriah is going to expound on some of his theories.
All right, shalom, brothers and sisters. Blessing to be back with you. For the most part, from the video, you pretty much seen how science have proven that the heart and mind thinks total opposite. or have its own consciousness or separate. So the point of the matter is why are we bringing this out today? What is the purpose of us even talking about this today? And why does that matter with health or anything? But the truth of the matter is that the scriptures, which I base a lot of my studies on health off of, is that the scriptures let us know that it teaches us to keep our heart with all diligence, because out of it is the issues of life. So understanding that is that when we know that our heart is very important to our life, we got to understand that how does it work? How does it operate? And how can we utilize it to heal ourselves or bring in any type of prosperity to our life? So first and foremost, we got to understand is how does the heart think? The scriptures also let us know that the heart is deceitful and who can know it? Well, scientists are still trying to figure out the heart and how it operates. And what we have seen is that the heart has over 40,000 sensory nerves in it, and it has its own consciousness. Now, what we have noticed that from studying these things in the scriptures in and of itself is that you can also program your heart. And there's scriptures to back that up. And then when you understand that the heart is its own mind, it is given its own mind, and that's the subconscious mind. So why is this important? Why do we talk about having a subconscious mind? Why are we talking about the heart being its own mind? It's because when we understand that why we do certain things without thinking, this is what separates. Why do I like the food that I like? Why do I partake in the activities that I partake in? Why do I do these things? I know it's wrong, but why do I do it? And then we go back to what is our actual consciousness coming from? And this is coming from the subconscious mind, which is the heart. So as I dive into this presentation, it's a lot of things that came out to me, you know, when I think on a lot of my beloved loved ones that passed. We can talk about health all day long. We can talk about changing all day long, but until somebody changed their heart into understanding what health is, then it doesn't matter. I can talk to somebody all day long, and the same thing with me. It just didn't happen overnight. It took the Almighty, it took the Creator to be able to put me in a situation where it forced me to change my heart on health. So when I go back to my study and how I even got into it, you know, I was somebody that, you know, I didn't eat any fruits and vegetables at all. I was a product of what you would call medical error. I was born with a disease, a skin disorder, and what they've done ever since I was a baby, they've given me so-called pharmaceuticals and steroids that actually worsen the situation over time, because a lot of the stuff that they give to the people, you know, when it comes to medicine, the so-called medicine, it has side effects. So as a child, I took these pharmaceuticals as a baby all the way up till I was around maybe 22, and I stopped for the most part because they stopped working. But as the thing is that when we look at health, is that it's not so much of the Band-Aid that you put on the problem, is where it's coming from, and everything with health comes from within. So my lifestyle was terrible, and this is where my heart was set at. My lifestyle, I had a lifestyle of eating terribly, partaking in the wrong things, dealing with the wrong activities, things of that nature. And this what made me be in a situation that I was in. So when I got to about 2018, I noticed that the so-called drugs that was given to me wasn't working, and my health got into a way worse state. I became asthmatic. I couldn't breathe. I needed inhalers and things of that nature. I also had bad arthritis. I lost all of my hair. I lost the hair on my head. I lost hair all over. It was a form of severe acidosis that took through my body. And what happened was eventually I went through this thing called steroid withdrawal. And these things happen because of medical side effects from the drugs that I took. But little do we know that the body heals itself, and yet the heart also is a healing factor in the body healing itself. So as I took my journey on studying health, you see that a lot of the healers never really address what the Bible speaks of. And the one thing that I notice about the Bible is that the only healer is the Most High, and the Almighty gives us everything we need on the earth to heal ourselves. But one thing that's truthful that people don't talk about, even the so-called healers, is that everything stems from the heart, because out of it is the issues of life. Your blood, everything, it is the healing mechanism. The body heals itself. Any pharmaceuticals and stuff like that, that doesn't actually heal the body. So if you put your heart into a healing frequency, it would naturally start to heal itself. If you put it into a negative frequency, it would start to hurt itself. So when we go through this presentation, we're going to dive into it. We're going to talk about how the heart actually works with the healing and the detriment of the human body. So, like I said, when you look at the studies, the heart has over 40,000 neurological sensories, which let us know that it has its own consciousness. Also, when we look at people that deal with heart problems, such as heart attacks and strokes and things of that nature, we notice one thing about it is the main thing is their lifestyle. It's what their heart is set on. Your heart is your paradigm or your perpetual habits. And when you look at the lifestyle of people that have heart attacks and strokes, high blood pressure, it's pretty much similar. You know, we all of our problems is pretty much similar. So, like I said, we're gonna dive into this presentation. The heart is more than just an organ and a pump, being the main instrument of your life in and of itself. It's just like when you notice, if you ever rode a bike or if you ever tied your shoes or anything you can do without thinking, this is what you would call your subconscious mind or your heart. So just like a song that you remember, you might not have heard a song for years and you can recite the song word for word because it's in your heart. It's in your subconscious mind. You could have never played a certain instrument in years, or you could have played an instrument in years and picked it back up because you practice it so much, it becomes embedded in your heart, your subconscious mind. So the heart is very, very important to your overall actions. It's just everything that you do naturally comes from your heart. So when we look at even with heart disease and the number one killer of our people, you got to understand that these things are more habit induced. Most of our illnesses and diseases comes from the vibration that we put our hearts on. And, you know, like I said, a lot of healers don't talk about this. You know what I mean? We always talk about herbs and we always talk about this and that, but we never talk about the mindset. And the mindset is what is your heart set on? What do you feel in your heart? Do you feel that the way you're living is the best way to increase life? or is the way you or is the way you living, is it taken away from life? Now you might not see the way you think, you living like, oh, this is I'm all right or whatever. But when you look into your consciousness and you go and looking through your mind and really see like, dang, is this the most healthiest way that I'm living? Because a lot of the habits that happen from over time, it doesn't stimulate overnight. Like this stuff that took place from years of compounding events, heart attacks and strokes and stuff like that, heart failures, it just don't happen overnight. So like I said, roughly every 30 seconds, somebody dying of a heart disease. Constantly, all you hear is people having strokes, heart attacks, left and right. Here it is. I was just talking to a elder, that's in the hospital right now, and he's going through heart surgery. He already done had 2 heart stents put in his heart, and I talked to the man, and I said, "What about changing your lifestyle, man? What about changing the way you eat or changing the way you live?" Here it is, this man almost died. And the thing of the matter is that he told me flat out, he said, "I'm not going to change." He said, "I'm not going to change the way I eat. I'm not going to change the way I live. I'm not going to do none of that." And then I understood, and it hit me like a ton of bricks. This is not his conscience. This is his heart. His heart is stuck on this. The hardest thing to change is the heart. And the truth of the matter is that in order to get any type of progress in life, you got to change your heart. We born a certain way, period. I don't care what nobody say. You born with your mom's and your dad's DNA, and this make up your heart off the rip. Then you have environmental things that shape your heart. But the thing that the Almighty gives us that separates us from everybody else on the planet Earth, or every other being on the planet Earth, is that the human being has the ability to shape its own heart, its own program, its own conscious mind. We have the ability, when he gives us the blessing and the curse, we have the ability when he said that ye are gods. An animal can't change its natural state of what it's supposed to do or what it does, but a human can. So just because you lived in an environment where a people ate a certain way or people did a certain thing, that doesn't mean that you cannot change. It's going to take repetition and, like the scriptures say, being diligent. But the truth of the matter is that you can make your heart into anything. If you want to have a healthy heart, make your heart healthy. It starts from your mind, your conscious mind, to tell your heart to be healthy. If you, any type of thing you're going through, if you want to heal, it starts with the mind. If you feel depressed, it starts with the mind. If you feel anything going on in your life, it starts with the mind first. So when we look at trying to understand why people do the things that they do, it's the heart. Here it is, somebody that's on their deathbed right now and said, I will not change. Lets you know that no matter what a person can say to anybody about health and herbs and this and that, if they heart ain't there, it don't even matter. So what I want to do with this presentation is work on people's heart. Your conscious mind, which is your so-called brain or whatever you want to say, your conscious mind can set or create its own journey of what you want your life to be. You can choose the blessing or the curse. You can choose life or death. You have that ability. Nobody has that ability but you. You can say, oh, my surroundings or whatever, but you can change your environment. Here it is, the food that you eat. Well, you can change the food that you eat. You can change the food that you eat. You can change everything that you do. But it's up to you to want to do it. You can make your heart in to do anything. Here it is. It tells us even in the Bible. It tells us in Ezekiel the 18th chapter, if a wicked man has been wicked all his life and his heart was set on wickedness. If a wicked man changed from his evils of his doing his wickedness, then the Almighty will blot out his sins. Here it is. Somebody could have been eating garbage all their life. They could have been having the worst lifestyle. And do you know that with a certain amount of time, the body can regenerate itself to where he could be one of the healthiest people that's on earth? It's plenty of people that was on their deathbed that was dying, but changed their lifestyle, and now they up and walk. It's people that's 70, 80 years old, lifting weights, running, exercising, eating right, doing everything. But when they didn't even start working out till they was like 40, in their 40s, had a terrible lifestyle. It's never too late to change your heart. So when we understand the heart in and of itself, that's what it starts first, with the health. It starts with your heart. Here it is. I didn't eat no fruits and vegetables all the way to I was like 22. And then you turn around and now that's mostly what I like to eat. Because when I was younger, I told myself, oh, this is nasty. Eating fruits and vegetables is nasty. You program your heart to think a certain way as well. You can program your heart to think a certain way. So if you want to be healthy, program your mind to say that, oh, this food is good. No matter if it's at the moment it's not tasting a certain way that you may like, but you can program your mind to think that way. So like I said, you got to keep your heart with all diligence, because out of it are the issues of life. So like I said, that's what we diving into. And we're going to keep going through the presentation. So when we look at many things that affects the vibration and frequency that can affect your health, right? We talked about what you eat. Also, positive and negative thoughts. People don't understand that your thoughts dictate your frequency. A person can walk into the room and you can feel the negative frequency that they have. This is your heart emanating it. The heart has a pump. It's a beat. It's constantly pumping and it's going off the vibrations of your body. Just like when you're scared, your heart beats faster. It's basically predicated on its emotions and its thought processes. The heart has its own consciousness. So when you put out negative thoughts, you're going to pull out negative frequency and you're going to attract negativity to you. The heart is so amazing because it has the ability to attract the things that it is. So like when the scriptures say that as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he, it lets you know that whatever the heart is, that's what you become. So if you always giving your heart negative thoughts, your heart is going to be negative and it's going to be detrimental to your health, because nothing negative when it comes positive comes from health from a negative thought at all. So also the things that change the vibration of the heart is also what you constantly see. This is called programming. This is what your subconscious mind is all about. Everything that you digesting, the moment that you're born as a kid, your kid is constantly digesting its environment, what he sees, what he hears, what the child eats. Everything is a program going straight to its heart. That's why the scriptures say this. And how can two walk together lest they be agreed? Your environment is very, very pertinent on your heart and what you as an individual are. Now, when you look at a kid, you look at someone that doesn't have any type of like programming at all, right? So when they send them into school and a kid act a certain way, you know exactly where that comes from. That comes from the parent or where he's been involved around. Because the kid just don't pop up out the womb and say, "Oh, I'm doing bad" or whatever. No, the environment is what entices a child to do whatever. The same thing about with the way a kid eats and what it likes. If a kid didn't have nothing around it but fruits and vegetables, that's what the kid will like. But if you put bad things around it, bad things around the child, and you say, "Oh, this is good," or "This is a treat," of course a kid in his mind gonna say, "Oh, that's a treat. I want that. I like that." So, in other words, it's the programming. If you go to a different country, these people eat octopuses and dogs and cats, but we would think that's taboo. No, it's just because they was programmed to think that certain way. But over here, we eat things that people eat pigs or whatever, or people eat whatever, and we think it's not taboo. But when you look at another country, they'll look at us like, "Why you eat that?" Because it's your program. So, long story short, is that your thoughts, your environment, the people you hang around, all of these things is your frequencies that's being emanated to your heart and from your heart. You gotta watch the people that you be around as well. One of the best healers that you can have is to be around positive people. That's one of the best things you can do. To talk to positive people. To be around people that's positive. Why? Because they're bringing off these frequencies. These things help your body heal. Just a hug alone helps the body. Everything is energy. We're all around energy. So for the most part, if you're looking at the things that help, the heart, you will see clearly the environment is more than anything when it comes to the heart. So what's the next thing? So when the heart being a subconscious mind, it has the ability to be programmed with thoughts, prayer, and consistent exercise. So when we look at, like I said, we talked about, programming the heart. How do we do that, first of all? So when you look at programming the heart, it takes diligence, one, but it also takes the environmental shift, changing your environment. If you somebody that drinks a lot, if you somebody that eats junk food a lot, you have to take yourself out of the environment. You got to help your heart in its pursuit to change. Because if you know your heart is tempted by eating Debbie's and cakes, or is tempted by drinking alcohol, why would you put yourself in that surroundings or in that environment to tempt your heart? So what you do when we change in our subconscious mind, we change the environment. And this comes from, like I said, environmental change. It comes from prayer and meditation. People don't understand the part of prayer and meditation it's a direct link to the subconscious mind and the heart. And in certain videos, and we gonna dive into it, and we can say you can watch for yourself. But for the most part is that when you look at prayer, that's your subconscious mind. That's your heart. It's you having a direct connection to the Almighty or the Creator itself by being able to meditate in prayer. That's your heart sending out these frequencies. Everything is not what we we've been taught, our body emanates frequencies. So when your heart send out these things, it's sending out signals, it's sending out vibrations. And even when it comes to exercise, you program your heart to even want to be healthier the more you move and more you exercise. I'm telling you beyond a shadow of a doubt, if people want to run every day and exercise every day, I guarantee you their diet would change. You wouldn't want to eat cabbies and debbies and cakes and stuff like that. You wouldn't want to drink all day long or smoke all day long because your body won't allow it. It'll start rejecting certain things. So if you start with basic things such as walking, you start with basic things such as lifting weights or anything that's just, when it comes to stretching or whatever, the thing of the matter is movement. And the more you change the vibration, if your heart is set on being still or whatever, of course it's going to be in a sedated mindset or sedated state because you're not moving it. The more you move your heart, the more it's going to crave the things that's going to keep it to be able to move, to function. So what are some signs that your heart is under attack or under disease? One of the signs is people that have chest pains, shortness of breath, cold sweats. A lot of these stimulates from anemia, anxiety, swollen legs, things like that. When you look at people that have, like, say for instance, varicose veins, blood clots, things like that. These let you know that something is wrong. Something is wrong with your blood, and your heart is basically a regulator of your blood. So if your blood is not flowing right, then there's something going on with your heart, and the body going to send you signs. So if you feeling any symptoms that we got listed on this list right here, then I think that you should try to take in seeing steps to try to improve your heart health. And the heart health is you can, take your diet, you can switch it. Also, you can take certain herbs and things of that nature. But the main thing is to jump on it before it gets worse, because everything is a domino effect. So when we look at, having like lightheadedness or high blood pressure, this is something that you shouldn't take lightly, because later down the road, lightheadedness may wind up being a stroke, or high blood pressure might lead to a stroke, or anything that you think is just mild that leads to something worse, like a heart attack or whatever the case may be. Even with erectile dysfunction, people don't understand. Most people that have, or brothers that have erectile dysfunction, wind up eventually having strokes because it's all a blood flow. It's all about testosterone and blood flow, but 9 out of 10 is a blood flow problem. So if that's an issue, then 9 out of 10, your heart could be at risk. So pay attention to the list. And if it is affecting you in any type of way, start trying to seek, improving your heart health. So the activities that, like I said, we can do to start increasing heart health is exercise, movement, diet, positive and mental stimulation, and therapy. Oh yeah, therapy. We got to understand what therapy is important, because when you look at the heart, it holds on to traumas. Now, a lot of people might think, oh, that's crazy. How do your heart hold on to trauma? But the heart in and of itself, like I said, is its own mind. It's its own consciousness. So when you look at trauma, things of that nature, the heart remembers all of these things. Here it is. We had a video. We could put the link down eventually, but we had a video of a young girl, actually, that had a heart transplant. And they took the heart out of the girl that had died or that got murdered and put it into the heart of a girl that was about to die if she didn't get the heart transplant. And the crazy thing about it is that she was having dreams of the incident of the girl that had got killed. So people were wondering, well, how's that possible? How's that possible? She didn't even know the murderer or even where the heart came from. But here it is that the heart in and of itself holds on to memories. So when you look at that, is you have to take account of any past traumas that you have or memories or things that could put you in a negative frequency, because that's what caused people to revert back to bad habits. It's trauma, it's bad memories, things that happen in childhood, things that happen when, even as an adult. You got to look at your mental health. Your mental health is very pertinent to your overall physical health. The moment that you neglect your mental health, it don't matter how much somebody can talk to you about all the health in the world. It don't matter. You got to address your mental health first. Then once your mental health is addressed, then your heart can change towards a better lifestyle. So when we look at therapy, I definitely promote going to get a therapist on certain things, because we all, especially being, in America, it's so much stuff going on, but definitely get therapy. And like I said, surround yourself with positive people. Get out there in nature. When you look at nature in and of itself, it has the ability to calm the heart, calm the mind. It's the best place to meditate. It's being one with the Creator and His creation. It's being out there in isolation and with nature. Sometimes get away from it all. You don't need the phones and the cell phones and the TVs and the computers and all of that. How about being out there with the grass and the birds and the trees and things like that? Because that's when you're going to be one with yourself. You're not going to be one with yourself with these electronics. Because all it's going to do is entice you to have more stress and depression and things that will cause you to go into a negative frequency. So, like I said, get out in nature. It increases serotonin in the body and in the mind. Like I said, when it comes to herbs, it's definitely herbs that you can take. But the main thing is that the whole thing is about today's presentation is the mindset. We done had so many of our beloved brothers and sisters that's been passing in these past few years because of their mindset on health. Health shouldn't be looked at as a chore. Health shouldn't be looked at as if you have to do it. No, health should be looked at, I get to be healthy. Because once you're gone, you don't get to do nothing. You get to be healthy. Every day you wake up, you can make a better chance, a better choice. So when we talk about the heart, your activities affect you and the people that surround you as well. It's one thing that I learned from a lot of elders that told me. He said, never judge a man where he's at. Judge a man where he come from. And that stuck with me because I look where I was 4 or 5 years ago with my health and how I improved. Of course, I might not be all the way healed now, but I came a long way. Somebody that could be 400 pounds. You might say, oh, he's big right now, but what about when he was 800 pounds? What about the man that's limping? Somebody could be talking about him, oh, he's limping, but the man was just paralyzed from the neck down. You don't judge a man where he's at. You judge him where he come from. We all start from somewhere. So when we walk this walk of health, the main thing is to begin with the walk. So when we look at anybody that's trying to be on the right path, we need to uplift them, no matter where you're starting from. Things take time. You didn't get sick overnight. So 9 out of 10, you're not going to heal overnight. And if there is healing overnight, that only comes from the Almighty. But 9 out of 10, the stuff that they say heal you overnight is just a scam. Nothing happens overnight. So the main thing is just switching your heart, switching your paradigm, changing the way you live your lifestyle, and just, be the better person you want to be. So last couple slides we got, I want everybody that is listening, if you can, write down these foods that I want you to get. These things will improve your heart. Get, like I said, fruits, waters, dates. Eliminate cooked food. Eliminate processed foods and drinks. So anybody's dealing with heart problems, do this for the moment. Like I said, switch up your activities. And main thing is just like I said, you got to give yourself a break. This is not a lifestyle. You don't have to stay on this diet forever, but you need to do it for a period of time until your health gets back on track, and then you maybe can have a balance. But the main thing is that you got to give your body a break. Same thing, like I said, write these things down, take notes. It's something that you can have for your own health journey. Just write down these things, write it on you can put it like a health guide for yourself. Things that you need to do. So, positive affirmations, therapy, mental diet, stuff you see, hear, taste, whatever. Your life visions. You got to give yourself purpose. The scriptures say this also. It says that the people without vision shall perish. So you always got to have a vision for yourself. So the main thing is that always try to set goals to put your heart towards, to take it away from the things that it has been through. Put yourself in a situation where you striving to complete something, and that'll help you keep going. Like I said, cardio, calisthenics, resistance, all of these things, I want you guys to write these things down and, just make your own personal to-do list when it comes to these things. Everybody is different, so write these things down and just try to come up with something that works for you and try to get better at it every day. Like I said, surround yourself with group events, spend more time around positive friends and families, detach from gossip and strife, and, basically just change your environment. When I say get out in nature, grounding is perfect. Sometimes, when the weather gets well or whatever, get out there, start grounding. That gets rid of a lot of inflammation out the body. It also gives you a electrical boost. Take it when I say grounding, take off your shoes and touch the earth with your feet. It's not barbaric to walk out with your, without any shoes. So the main thing is get connected with nature. And these are some of the herbs as well. Like I said, write this stuff down. You can use cayenne pepper. That's what helps stimulate the blood and helps the heart. Sarsaparilla, ginger root, burdock, hawthorn, rosemary, and there's a few other herbs that you can get, but these just a list of some that you can take down. But the main thing, like I said, we give you all of this information. It ain't gonna mean nothing until you change your heart or your mindset on the matter. That's the whole thing. So that's the whole purpose of this. Coming back, for this season is we working more on the mindset of the people.
Beautiful, beautiful. Is that the end of the presentation?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Beautiful, man. So what we got to look forward to next week? Are we tuning in next week again, or?
Yeah, we can definitely tune in. Like I said, I want to continue to inspire people. I think right now, like I said, people don't have the vision that they can change. And that's what keeps the heart. And that's just what I said about programming. People got to see people that done came from out of their bed into a healthy lifestyle. People got to see people that have lost hundreds of pounds of weight. People got to see people that are healed from all these various ailments through their lifestyle change. And it'll motivate people. So we're going to start interviewing a lot of people that actually been through it, you know, because that's part about programming your mind. You got to see it. You got to feel it. You got to experience it. And this is what I want everybody to be able to do is see and experience the way of health.
Okay, then. But we appreciate the work you have done so far, man. You done did about 28 episodes so far. 28 episodes, man. That's over the course of 2 years. And of course we had some hiccups due to our technology and stuff, but we appreciate you being consistent in this. And also tell them about your food truck as well.
Oh yeah. With the food truck, I got a couple endeavors that I'm doing to help people. As a matter of fact, I got this as well. This is
right here.
This is Honduras sea moss.
Okay.
This is some of the best sea moss. This is the best sea moss you can get. And the thing about it is that it has no salt on it. And this is the one that you really want to get. A lot of the sea moss that a lot of people out there sell is full grown, and it has a lot of mercury and a lot of heavy metals and pollutants on it that can actually hurt you. And yes, we know that sea moss is, good with minerals and stuff like that, but you got to know where you get it from. Exactly. So the main thing is that.
Now, how much for a jar?
The jars we sell.
Pint.
Well, the jars is $30 for a jar. It lasts you about a week. We also selling herbal drinks and stuff with the sea moss in it. So that's $20 a gallon. And even if you want to buy the sea moss in and of itself in the raw form, make it yourself, we sell it $10 an ounce. And with the food truck, we're going to be selling vegan food and stuff like that, and teas and all of that type of stuff. So
beautiful. So yeah, we done leveled up since you last seen us, man. But now we appreciate the information. And hopefully we can tap more on the science of the heart and the mind on the Hebrew Huddle and the Secret Place of the Most High podcast. But we will go ahead and continue. We will go ahead and continue next week. We appreciate everybody for tapping in. Go ahead and follow us on Facebook, follow us on YouTube by putting in Levitical Health Organization, and also join our Facebook group, Hebrew Israelite Holistic Health. Hallelujah.